Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for the US stock indices. We're gonna see NASDAQ, SPX, and Dow Jones. We're gonna start with NASDAQ as usual, where we have our 1-2 here is unfolding. The wave 2 is a very likely potential finished WX and a Y or an ABC. This move downward is still, of course, a question mark if we're gonna proceed it or not. Of course, there is a probability, but somehow we are looking for a rebound. I believe that this three-way structure is done, and it is looking for a very fast wave B here to continue toward the downside very, very soon. By all means, on the 1 hour chart here, where we got already since yesterday, we were tracking this impulse toward the upside. This impulse is done and finished as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. In 5 waves, yes, it is finished in an expanding diagonal, but at the end, those are 5 waves done, and we're looking here for another impulse pushing toward the downside. Now, this other impulse suggests, of course, a deeper correction, which it might be an ABC here, before we push for another wave C, and then, of course, continuation toward the downside here for the trend, meaning this label is still valid, of course, and we might see something very, very fast. We might see some volatility with NASDAQ as an ABC, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then directly continuation toward the downside. And that because this structure here, the very complex structure that we got for NASDAQ, can be already finished an A, B, and a C here. This wave C is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 finished as well. Therefore, this correction here that we are looking at, yes, it might be looking aggressive a little bit, but it might be a 3 waves and then, of course, continuation toward the downside. Currently, we see, of course, an impulse unfolding as another corrective wave. I would say it can be another A, B, and a C here for a deep zigzag that it might be unfolding over there for a wave B. So in this case, I'm expecting another high here. Well, actually, even the wave 5 is not yet done, I would say here. If we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, so it can still go for deeper in a wave A yet. So we'll see how this is going to unfold. So far, yeah, very likely anyway to continue the drop toward the downside, because my target is anyway 0.38 here, the 0.38 at 22K for NASDAQ. This is my minimum requirement target for this area. Now, can we drop directly towards lower prices? Well, it depends on the market psychology. If it wants to, yes, it can do this in validation of the impulse. However, yeah, I mean, we cannot really ignore it as an impulse here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that it might be, yeah, again, replied by another wave C properly and then pushing toward the downside, especially that the market is already pushing in overlaps. Yeah, so I'm expecting again some overlaps here that it shows somehow this aggressive move again towards lower prices. However, be careful. Of course, the best way to trade this is to be toward the downside. Of course, no financial advice, but the the pressure of selling is very, very strong. I would say sooner or later we might continue toward the downside, whether directly from now or one more high and then pushing down. At the end, of course, the best way to deal with it is being within the trend. So yeah, this is regarding Nasdaq. If we move to SPX here, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 wave 1, and then we have a WX and a wave Y potentially finished here, and we are looking for a separation, of course, as a wave B. This wave B is unfolding very likely as an impulse here. Also, we have a kind of a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. I would say that this has finished up just like that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your wave 3 here is 1, 2, and then another 1, 2, potentially triple 1, 2s. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and potentially 4, 5 to finish, of course, this move upward. Yeah, so very likely to be done and finished there. And then we have here another impulse again as a reply. Again, it can be another zigzag, very deep zigzag, A, B, and a C. Then wave C to finish. Is this a big correction and then continuation toward the downside? Again, a lot of overlapping might repeat the same way that we got, of course, before. We might start to see the same again repeating. But at the end, my target is toward the downside, guys. Of course, my trend is toward the downside here. We're looking at the end for the 6K 75. So to be on the safe side, of course, always be with the trend. No financial advice. Of course, a lot of up and downs might happen, but at the end, it's gonna, of course, grind toward the downside sooner or later, guys. So we'll see this how is going to unfold. Forget about the noise that you might get in this correction. Yes, it is very likely to get one more high, but at the end, the price will dive for deeper again. The 0.38 has to be reached $6,075 sooner or later. This is regarding SPX. Finally, we're going to see a Dow Jones here. For Dow Jones, we are looking as well for a top in a wave one. We're looking also at the price grinding towards the downside here. Now we see, of course, a rebound, as we mentioned since yesterday. This is kind of an impulse done and finished, and we're looking for a wave A done. And yeah, we don't see a strong reaction yet from Dow Jones unless this is still the pre-market, not open yet. Let me just check Dow Jones. Let's check another one. US 30. Yes, that is a reaction, of course, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here, still unfolding. I would say the same as NASDAQ. Nothing different. I would say one more low can be very likely in 1112, 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5 toward the downside. Now, I don't use this chart because it doesn't have the all-time history as the one that I have, but I think I'm gonna anyway switch to it because this one is open much more often rather than the one that we have already here. So I will be using, of course, that chart later on. I'm gonna move my labels to there. So basically, Dow Jones also is looking impulsive. I would say can be an ABC deep wave ABC and then pushing for higher later on, guys. At the end, the target is looking for the 0.38. Basically, the 0.38 is the minimum requirement. Also, the time is required, meaning yes, we are requesting here something as a corrective wave B to take the time a little bit and allow to reach this timing for wave 2 in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hitting the perfect target at the end and then pushing towards higher prices again. That was it for NASDAQ, SPX, and Dow Jones. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Before you leave, make sure to join our private Discord community. There you will get daily updates faster than YouTube, plus exclusive bonus trading signals for the gold, silver, Bitcoin, and stocks. You can also request one special technical analysis every day and get access even to our only members video on YouTube and also on Discord. And stay ahead, of course, with economic and political news that actually moves the market. And of course, we do regular Q&A sessions so you can get your questions answered directly in the Discord. And of course, if you're serious about leveling your trading, the Discord link is below in the description and in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.